Dirty Dan. I don't know what you mean. I'm Dirty Dan.
It's absolutely amazing.
I'm Dirty Dan.
Whoa, Dirty Dan.
1 year before Shannon Sharpe was sued for violent sexual assault, he was warned by one of his podcast guests to stop pursuing girls that were 30.
Hold on. Word? How strong is this shit? It's like, it's only baby. It's only a 5.9. Apricot, citrus, melon, passion fruit. I don't know, man. I don't know, man. My screwdriver's hit. Yeah, womp, Kool-Aid. Exactly, womp, womp. Kool-Aid. Womp. That ass is a chaser for me. Like, I mean, it could be a W chaser if it tastes good. It could be a W chaser, but that's, yeah, nice chaser probably. Okay, yeah, maybe. You know what I'm saying? If it tastes good. It gotta taste good though. But that shit gonna hit like straight juice. Womp, womp. All right, back to it. My bad.
Years. It was 1 year before Shannon Sharpe was sued for violent sexual assault. He was warned by one of his podcast guests to stop pursuing girls that were 30 years younger than him.
You're trying to hang out with these young bitches and you can't do it, Shannon. You just can't do it.
Even
And that's spoken like an actual friend. You just can't do it no more. You gotta stop it, my nigga. We old now. You gotta stop hanging out with, you know what I'm saying? Niggas don't be listening. She was spitting real shit. You know what I'm saying? W auntie. Shout out Monique.
Even Lil Yachty was apprehensive of Shannon's mentality towards younger women.
Y'all get to a certain age and you still like them young. You like
Yeah.
You like the same age girls I like.
Okay, yeah,
right. When you get to a certain age,
I'm getting old, but my eyesight's still young.
Shannon.
That's not a good look, huh? That nigga said, you like the girls that's my age, bruh. And you like, you know what I'm saying? Double my age type shit. Yeah, I want to say that's predator talk, bro. And that's why, that's exactly why he at where he at now. Like, that's exactly why he's at right now.
And who is 56 years old, never shied away from letting everyone know that he was interested in women who were younger than his daughters.
Everybody always talk about date your age. Well, I want to date my wage.
To no surprise, Shannon's reckless behavior got him in some major legal trouble, as he is now being sued for $50 million by a 19-year-old who claims that he R-worded her, and the evidence against him does not look good. However, there are some suspicious details surrounding this case that have people wondering if it could be a setup. The lawyer that is representing the victim was the same one who took down Diddy, attempted to take down Jay-Z for crimes, as well as the fact that Shannon Sharpe was just about to sign a deal that would secure him generational wealth.
Big yikes. One more intermission. $40. Gunpowder Irish gin with California citrus. Word? What this smell like? Word. Interesting. Okay, my bad. Oh, black ass shell. This is too mature for us.
And somehow,
that's very distinguished. That's when I gotta break out this glass and you know what I'm saying, put like one of those, you know what I'm saying, on the rocks on it. A good one though. Yeah.
These aren't even the craziest conspiracies, which has resulted in Shannon receiving a ton of support from fans, letting them know that they are on.
We don't care about the allegations. Damn, Unc, we still riding with you. Yeah, that's when. Yeah, that's not the gas station. That's not on the block, Henny. That's not just go up the street and get your E&J. Yeah, you gotta. That's mid shelf, right? That's like when you walk into the liquor store and it's right at eye level type shit, right? That's not like top shelf, but it's like mid shelf, right? I'm starting to learn.
On his side.
That's
Today
like
we're
eye-level
going to
shelf.
clearly break down the entire story, the evidence Shannon provided to defend himself, as
What, nigga? Huh?
as well as the possible conspiracies surrounding the case of Shannon Sharpe versus OF model Gabriela Zuniga. Celebrities have been using their fame to cover up bad behavior for
Her last name kind of sound like nigga. Like, never. Y'all heard it.
decades, but at the same time, being famous also makes you a target. When you've got money and a platform, there's always going to be someone looking to take advantage of that. And while every situation should be looked into carefully, once the allegations start stacking up, it gets hard to tell if this is an obvious pattern of bad behavior or people looking for a payday. In light of the new allegations, countless media outlets resurfaced a 2010 restraining order that Shannon Sharpe's ex-girlfriend filed when she accused him of R-wording her, then threatening her if she ever told anyone. Michelle Bundy Evans met Shannon Sharpe while working as a TV sports reporter in 2002. We met in the press room at the Broncos in April of 2002, but we didn't start dating until we met at the Club Blue 67 in Denver. He started pursuing me heavily. I resisted for a while because I was a reporter and I didn't want to mix the two, but he's very charming. At that point, Shannon was near the end of his football career. He spent 14 seasons in the league, mostly with the Denver Broncos, where he helped deliver back-to-back Super Bowl wins in the late 90s. Then he got a third championship with the Baltimore Ravens in 2000. But Shannon's legacy did not stop on the field. He had something else that made him great: natural charisma, which made it easy for him to eventually transition into sports broadcasting. Michelle said that her and Shannon had a relatively open relationship and were constantly crossing paths in the workplace since they worked in the same industry. She says they dated for a decade until 2010 when it all came crashing down. Problems arose when Shannon told Michelle to separate from a man who later became her husband.
The argument was about the fact that he...
Was this the same? Wait a minute.
He had removed...
This... That's her? What the fuck happened? That's the same person? Holy shit.
One girl from his house. Argument.
When Shannon told Michelle to separate from a man who later became her husband.
Makeup is the devil.
Was about the fact that he had removed one girl from his house and put another girl in his house and didn't tell me. He had asked me to break up with my husband at the time we were just dating. So I was dating Shannon and my husband at the same time. I was like, wait a minute, you want me to...
She was double dicking.
Be with just you, but you want to move somebody into your house and not even tell me? So that's what it stemmed from. He's not a faithful person, so I wasn't going to be faithful to a non-faithful person. It just doesn't work that way.
He said Father Time put in OT.
It was the biggest argument that we ever got in.
God.
He was controlling, he was domineering, he was manhandling me. And he wanted to have sex, and I told him no. I told him no, because you gave it to somebody else. I didn't even tell him no.
What's the word? What's the word?
He wouldn't take no for an answer.
The reporter then asked Michelle a question that many victims get when they choose not to go to the police immediately.
Why didn't you file a police report when he raped you?
Because I was scared for my life. He said he would use it. Everybody he knows,
I'm here all day.
Lots of
I ain't going nowhere. I'm just being a no-cam streamer.
I didn't know that if I went down there, that would be one of the people that he knows.
Michelle claimed that Shannon continuously threatened her. He said he was going to destroy me, and he was going to kill me, and he told me he was watching me. In fear, Michelle filed a temporary restraining order against him, which forced him to step away from his role on CBS's NFL Today.
CBS sports analyst and former NFL tight end Shannon Sharpe took a, quote, leave of absence after accusations surfaced that he had allegedly and threatened to kill a woman. According to legal documents obtained by Sports by Brooks, Sharpe's accuser claimed that the renowned tight end, quote, forced her to have sex with him, threatens her life, and, quote, places her under surveillance and calls to say he is watching her.
After Sharpe took a leave of absence, Michelle claims that a strange man showed up to her door and intimidated her, so she dropped the restraining order. Shannon returned to CBS after the restraining order was dismissed and was inducted into the Pro Football Hall of Fame 1 year later. It's important to consider that the information you just learned about this lawsuit was relatively unknown in 2010. It's much more common for controversies, allegations, and lawsuits to get swept under the rug because there weren't as many people online demanding justice and holding alleged perpetrators accountable. Shannon weathered the storm, stayed quiet, and it just kind of went away for 13 years until Michelle filed another lawsuit against Shannon in 2023 alleging defamation, libel, slander, and intentional infliction of emotional distress. Evans claimed that Shannon has repeatedly referenced their legal disputes on television and other public platforms, which she says has caused significant harm to her reputation. However, I could not find anything that proves that Shannon has talked about her on television. Michelle's lawsuit in 2023 got even less attention from the media than the 2010 restraining order. Therefore, this interview with The Sun is Michelle's third attempt to get justice for the R-word that she claims occurred. And finally, after 15 years, Shannon's counsel has responded to Michelle. It should be of no surprise that when someone famous is in the news, all sorts of people crawl out of the woodwork to share their connection to that person in an attempt to profit from that alleged relationship. This is exactly what is happening to Shannon Sharpe, and the resurrection of the case involving Michelle Evans is a perfect example. Sadly, Miss Evans...
Like, he got some type of work done, you can tell. Try to make himself look more youthful.
Became obsessed with Shannon and decided to manufacture a claim against him. When she could not find a lawyer to pursue her outrageous story, she filed a civil complaint on her own that is completely devoid of merit. The fact is that Shannon has had no contact with this person for many years, and it is our understanding that she is still on probation after serving 3 years in prison for trying to kill her husband, so that she could hopefully pursue a relationship with Shannon. As far as I can tell, Michelle is no longer pursuing Shannon legally, but media outlets are getting her side of this story today to either 1, exploit the situation for profit, or 2, report on a potential victim whose story was swept under the rug for 15 years. There was also another assault allegation brought up against Shannon that was allegedly kept quiet for many years. Ryan Glasspiegel of FrontOfficeSports.com put out a report that accused Shannon of choking a female production assistant in the workplace during his time at Fox Sports. Glasspiegel used 2 different sources in support of his accusations, saying that one source said Sharpe and Fox settled with the accuser for several $1,000s. No lawsuit was filed. However, a representative for Sharpe came forward and denied any prior altercation. There was no incident of choking involving Shannon on the FS1 set. On one occasion, he and a few colleagues were involved in some light physical interaction in a playful context. Fox Sports later chose to resolve the matter privately. Although they claimed it wasn't serious, it does seem there is some truth here, or else they would have outright denied nothing happened whatsoever. But this is common whenever a celebrity is under fire. Allegations arise from their past where all of a sudden anonymous sources start remembering bad behavior. And whether they are true or not, there is no doubt that Michelle's story and others are receiving attention because of the most recent lawsuit between Shannon Sharpe and Jane Doe, whose real name was later revealed to be Gabriela Zuniga, an only model that filed a $50 million civil lawsuit against Sharpe, accusing him of sexual assault and battery.
That is kind of like odd too. Like, I get that he has that currently going on, but like, yeah, I do get, I noticed that too. That is kind of like a pattern. Whenever somebody does do something bad and like, oh, they fucked up, it's like everyone else, they've been quiet for years or whatever, for whatever reason. And then now they're all just like, all right, wait a minute. Something happened to me. Wait, this happened to me. Like, instead of always just pressing the issue and shit. It's a weird pattern.
Now, almost all of the information regarding this lawsuit was released to the public in the matter of like 48 hours, and all of it was extremely disorganized, out of context, and confusing, truthfully, for the betterment of both parties. So I'm going to do my best to puzzle piece this together in chronological order, because I believe dates are extremely important to consider here. According to her lawsuit, the two met in 2023 at a gym in Los Angeles. Gabriella claimed that Sharpe had been watching her during workouts and eventually eventually approached her. At the time, she said she was just 19 and didn't even know who he was, just that he was another older man paying a little too much attention at the gym. She said that after repeatedly asking, he convinced her to give him her phone number. Over the next few weeks, Shannon Sharpe allegedly pursued Gabriella relentlessly. According to her, he kept approaching her at the gym and repeatedly calling and texting her, asking to meet up. She says he didn't take no for an answer, and eventually she...
I was dead ass about to say, this nigga did not take no for an answer. I ain't gonna lie. It makes you ask, why now? Yeah, I'm like, why now during, like, all... I need to change that sound. Yo, appreciate that. Yo, 2 mothers? Let's motherfucking go, my boy. Preach. Whoops. That'd be 2 months. Let's motherfucking go. But yeah, it does make you wonder about, like, why does it always happen? Oh, it always happens like that. Literally, it always happens like that. Like, okay, why now during this time? Why didn't you press like the whole situation? Very predator-like on me. Yeah, that's lame as fuck. That's lame as fuck. If they were that serious, they would have said something way sooner. That's what I'm saying. But I feel like some of that shit is true regardless. I feel like, yeah, I'm not saying that it ain't true. Like, cause like, you know, it probably could. And maybe they were scared or being, you know what I'm saying? Maybe they were scared for themselves or people around them or whatever at the time. But, my nigga, if you're gonna bark, like, if you're gonna bark about a situation, it makes more sense for you to do it now. I mean, do it then when it's hot versus kind of like doing it all the time. I mean, well, doing it when everyone else is doing it, because now it's just like, well, this is here, this is there. They're like, who, you know what I'm saying? Then it kind of gets like a little hard to, you know, figure out who's just saying shit just to, you know, get bread or, you know, just because they may have, you know what I'm saying? You get what I'm saying? It just makes it a little bit harder to actually go back because now you got to look at dates and, you know, backtrack this, that, the third and see if it, you know, links up with their story and what they claiming or whatever. I don't know. I can definitely see someone being intimidated by a celebrity. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I can get that and feeling more confident now that more people are coming out. That's what I'm saying. I do get that too. Like maybe they felt like, oh, I'm just a little old nobody and this is a big famous person. So, you know, they can do whatever, you know what I'm saying? They can get me out the way and, you know, it is what it is. And maybe if they got more people attacking at once, they feel like, all right, I got like a little safety net. I get that too. I do get that, but I'm just like, I don't know. Just got an interview scheduled to work at a dispensary. Let's fucking go. W dispensary job. Let's go. W interviews. Legal cases, especially in assault, unfortunately hold more weight when there's multiple people involved. Okay, that I didn't know. I'm gonna ace that bitch. Yeah, I'm already knowing, bro. You got this shit. W interview, my boy. Something you definitely gonna need. Definitely going to something you gonna definitely need and be like, you know what? I like it here. I'm home. You got this, bro.
Of the woman tied up and said, I want to be in that position right now. Bondage, which is she agreed to see him outside the gym.
Okay,
but before they met in person, Shannon reportedly insisted she sign a non-disclosure agreement. Gabby found that off-putting and refused. Even after he kept pushing, he eventually dropped it and invited her to his house. However, Shannon and his legal team released text messages that seem to contradict Gabby's claims of how she felt towards him in 2023. In March of 2023, which is just 2 months after they met, Gabby sent him a message with an image of a woman wearing bondage ropes with the words, "Tie me up like this and F me," to which Shannon replies, "If I knew how to, I would." She said, "It's okay, I have handcuffs. We can stick to those for now." They went back and forth exchanging kinky messages when she referred back to the photo of the woman tied up and said, "I want to be in that position right now," to which he replied, "It's too late right now." This message was sent at 11 p.m. Shannon was likely tired and getting ready to go to sleep, but it seems like the 19-year-old Gabby was in the mood. Ironically, this is exactly what Monique said would happen to Shannon.
When they want wants you to go for the 4th round, you looking at her like, listen, I need you want some money to go to Starbucks because I can't go no further. But if you get your older girl, when you get to that 4th round, she's gonna say, hold on, let me go get you some eggs and cheese and some toast with apple butter.
And I know that's supposed
some real shit though. That is some real ass shit.
to be funny, but that's actually prophetic. It's wild. Another text message from late 2023 was released where Gabby wrote, I want you to put a dog collar around my neck and choke me with it while you're effing me. The two also talked about Gabby's desire to have a baby with Shannon, including her allegedly writing, only if you put that baby gravy in me, then you can do whatever you want to me. And I literally ate so much food, I look like I'm pregnant with your big black baby. Sharpe responded, if I still F with you around my birthday in 24, you can IUD out. Essentially saying if they are still together in 7 months from when this message was sent, then she could stop taking her birth control and they will have a child together. To which she replied, LOL, you're stuck with me for life. You're not going anywhere, babe. Reminder that Gabby claims in her lawsuit that around this time their relationship was rocky and on and off. She says everything was always on his terms, when they saw each other, how often, and what their relationship looked like. At first, he could be sweet and affectionate, but over time, she says his behavior changed. He became more dishonest and emotionally volatile. However, Shannon's evidence shows that they were both constantly sharing freaky messages.
Then she says, I want to put my tongue in your asshole, then marry you. She was using her tongue like a bidet. She was a serial booty eater, a fecal matter muncher.
Gabby said she wanted some, quote, hardcore BDSM action. Shannon replied, matching her energy.
And Shannon says, that's chocolate daddies. That's chocolate daddies slash I'm the only one f***ing that and getting his ass ate. We all knew, come on, we all knew Shannon was into.
Gabby continuously brought up the idea of having a child, writing texts that said, I can't wait to have a black baby. Shannon replied, I want to F. If I was 38, I would definitely impregnate you.
I can't wait to have a black baby. What? Why? Huh?
As she continued to press the conversation about having a baby, Shannon said, Gabby, you and I both know you don't want a baby. She replied, you're the one that has a breeding kink, and I mean, I only want a baby if it's
breeding kink?
It's from you. I think I'd be a good mom. She continued, I've always wanted a black baby. I want you to put a big black baby inside me.
There is something wrong. Nah, that's, yo, what the fuck? I mean, that's weird. Yo, I mean, that's they were doing race play. That's a kink. It is a kink. But I don't know about that one, bro. And this is why I keep saying y'all messing with these women like they not fetishizing you. Pin that motherfucker.
Are droves more text messages released where Gabby brought up the fact that she wanted a baby. Some people interpret this as
not just a baby, a big black baby.
As nothing more than kinky talk. Some think it is a weird.
Daisy Wazy, what's good? Welcome in. Welcome in. That's crazy. We are into a very weird. We're just doing. Well, we're recording for YouTube right now, but yeah, we're having a very weird discussion. We're not. Well, we're talking about it, but yeah, we're on Shannon Sharpe's freak nasty escapades with a 19-year-old OF worker. My fellow blacks. My fellow blacks is okay.
Weird fetish or entrapment, trying to be set for life off of Shannon's money, and others see this as a young girl who actually desperately wants to have a child with a man who simply wants sex. This is where Gabby claims in her lawsuit that a shift happened in their relationship. He lied about other women, but still insisted they were exclusive. She claims he manipulated her, flipping between charm and aggression to get what he wanted. Around summer of 2024, Gabby claims there was a violent, aggressive, and controlling nature Shannon had that she could not escape. She describes multiple instances where he had his way with her without her explicit consent, then controlling her life, demanding where she needed to be and when. He accused her of disrespecting him, wasting his time, and warned that if she wanted to be with the Shannon Sharpe, she would have to learn obedience. Over the next year and a half, plaintiffs saw Sharpe at his house.
What is she, a fucking dog?
As often as 4 times a week. Sharpe continued to treat her like an object. He continued to control her, not just physically, but emotionally and psychologically. Gabby started sending her friends her location for her safety, and when Shannon noticed, he allegedly grabbed her by the neck and told her, "If you ever do that again, I will effing kill you." However, text messages revealed from Shannon's team that correspond to this timeline have Gabby allegedly saying, "I want to be abused, daddy," and also sent another BDSM photo and said, "I want you to tie me up like this and abuse me, daddy." Shannon moved to Las Vegas. Gabby also decided to move to Las Vegas, which some people thought was strange if she claimed that she was afraid of him, but then moved to the exact same city. She says this is when the abuse got much worse, specifically around the time that Shannon accidentally went live on Instagram during a sexual encounter with a different woman. In September of 2024, Shannon Sharpe accidentally broadcasted an intimate moment with a woman. Thousands of viewers tuned in to an unexpected Instagram live that featured audio of Shannon having intercourse with an unidentified woman. The screen indicates that the phone was just kind of resting on a table or on the bed, but the audio of Shannon breathing heavily and dirty talking was enough to tell what was going on. What made this a little confusing was
I remember hearing that and I was immediate like, she lying. I'm talking specifically to the black men in here being fetishized because it's a convo we talked about before. Race play is just fetishizing. Yeah, that is true. People just want to put a different name on it so it sounds better. Honestly, kind of, they want to put a different label on it to make it not so. Because, you know, back in the day, it was real taboo. Like, that shit was dead ass done behind closed doors. It won't be shown or heard of from the light of day. But now they're trying to make it more like openly acceptable. Like a lot of things they're trying to make open and acceptable, which was kind of damn near demonized back in the day. But it's the agenda that they're working and pushing, you know.
He mentioned the woman's name in this IG live. He said Michelle, but it was not the same Michelle that filed the restraining order in 2010. The moment was extremely viral, with most people just making fun of Uncle Shannon. And at first, Sharpe tried to claim his account had been hacked. However, he called ESPN to tell them the truth. My phone wasn't hacked, it wasn't a prank, it was me being a healthy, active male. He later came clean on the Nightcap podcast, admitting the whole thing was an honest mistake.
I'm extremely embarrassed that a very, very private, intimate situation, the audio couldn't be heard. And I'm extremely disappointed in myself. 5 minutes before I came on, phone rings. It's Cat Williams. So I said, yeah, bro, what's up? The first thing out of his mouth, guess what he said, Ocho?
Wow.
You ain't gay today?
However, based on
you ain't gay today?
text messages that Shannon revealed, Gabby was extremely upset with the situation. When I'm 152 pounds, but you can't touch me because you cheated on me on Instagram Live. I'm gonna be 180 soon and you're still not gonna be able to touch me. I bet you regret your actions right about now.
What does her gaining weight have to do with anything? Huh? What the fuck? Because they accused, they was saying, he was being real zesty. I remember that one picture he was wearing like an olive suit. And he had like a Starbucks cup in his hand. He had posed real zesty in front of a truck or something. I forgot about that. I think he released that footage on purpose. Now I remember. Now it's coming back to me. Yeah, I think he did that just to prove a point, but tried to make it seem like it was an accident. Yeah, okay. Oh yeah, it's coming back to me now.
These text messages make it seem like Gabby thought they were exclusively in a relationship. Shannon did not give a formal reply in texts. Gabby then said, "When you give me a formal apology for cheating on me on Instagram Live and multiple other times, then we can talk." She writes, "Formal apology," in all caps.
Why do you need me to go live? How about I just tell you in person? How about we be real people? But, you know, she's like 19. She's basically a kid. You know what I'm saying? And you're like, what, fucking 50, nigga?
Shannon replies, "I've said sorry, Gabby." However, this is where things start to look really bad for Shannon. In her lawsuit on October 6, 2024, she says he confronted her at a gym in Nevada, visibly angry, and threatened her. "Sit the F down or I'm going to you," he reportedly said. When she tried to walk away, he told her she didn't have a choice. She told him clearly that she didn't want to speak, didn't want to be alone with him, and didn't want him coming to her home. Despite that, she says he forced her into his car and brought her back to her apartment. Once inside, he allegedly ignored her attempts to keep the conversation in the living room. He insisted on going to the bedroom. She said no, but he wouldn't listen. That's where she says he SA'd her, ignoring her tears and pleas. At one point, he reportedly said, "You've disrespected me so much, I'm going to punish this a-hole. I'm going to make it so no man will want you again." She says he R-worded her while she sobbed, and during the assault, he told her the experience gave him chills. Now, the next text messages Shannon released weren't until December 26th, almost 3 months after this alleged assault. We don't know how much or if any communication was had in between then. Gabby says, "I'm not answering your calls until you say sorry, Shannon." She says, "All you say is I'm sorry, but you never say what you are sorry for. How you gonna make it right?" She continues, "So I would appreciate if you could do that, cause you really hurt me." She continuously makes it clear that she wants an apology, to which Shannon replies, "Gabby, I'm not going through this again. Stop playing childish games." Now, we don't know if Gabby was demanding an apology for this assault that she said happened or something else, because this was 3 months later. But then things get even more strange when New Year's of 2025 comes around. Shannon texted her and said, "Happy New Year, Gabby. Can't wait to see what 2025 has in store for us." Gabby replies, "Give me $50,000 and I will let you come over to the house," and then sends him her PayPal link. He said, "I don't have Cash Apps." She said, "Then what do you have?" And he says, "I have 10K cash." Gabby replies, "Send me a picture or FaceTime me with it." It seems like Shannon did not oblige to her orders, so she texted again. "What's taking so long? You either have the cash to show me right now or you're with Michelle. Which one is it, Shannon?" She sends another message with a picture of her naked. "I know you miss this big juicy $25K for each cheek." We do not know if Shannon paid the money, but they did see each other within 24 hours of this message. In her lawsuit, on January 2nd, 2025, Shannon told her he wanted to see her and remind her about a promised Christmas and birthday gift. Eventually, she agreed to let him visit her apartment, but once he arrived, things quickly turned. He began undressing and she asked him to wear a condom, hoping it might stop.
How does one go about purchasing one cheek? I just want one rib. I sure am hungry. Just one rib.
What was happening. According to her, Shannon
what you
refused.
Gonna do with one
the
butt
more she
cheek?
begged him to stop or use protection, the more aggressive he became. She says he forced himself on her again, ignoring her pleas the entire time. The last text messages that were released are from that January 2nd, 2025 night, which was the night of the alleged assault. Gabby said, "I cried when you left because I begged you to put a condom on and not to put it in my A, and you didn't listen. I don't care what our history is. No means no, Shannon. I don't know how to process this." In response to the lawsuit, Shannon Sharpe publicly denied all allegations through a statement released by his attorney. Mr. Sharpe categorically denies all allegations of coercion or misconduct, the statement read. His lawyer, Lanny J. Davis, went further, calling the lawsuit full of lies, distortions, and misrepresentations, and claimed it would not hold up in court. Shannon's lawyer wrote, "These messages are just a sampling of a broader pattern of graphic communications initiated by the plaintiff." Davis said, "The evidence paints..."
In Shannon Sharpe's case, yes. In his case, you get the whole package. You get the whole kit and caboodle. You know what I'm saying? You get the... You just take it.
It's a clear picture. This was a consensual adult relationship that included role-playing, language, and fantasy scenarios explicitly requested by the plaintiff. Shannon also made another public announcement denying all accusations, but instead of typing it himself, it seems like he screenshotted a text message that was sent to him, indicating that it was someone else who wrote the response. It seemed like no matter how Shannon responded, it didn't exactly make him look better. And although the text messages that he released do provide a little more context, they don't exactly make him look better either. It does seem that they had a consensual relationship before the initial October 6, 2024 assault, but the lawsuit mostly focuses on the fact that their dynamic changed after the IG Live leak in September of 2024, which Gabby deemed as Shannon cheating on her. Honestly, Shannon's text messages that he released kinda help her narrative, because what we have, according to the text messages that he released, are seemingly a consensual back and forth for about a year and a half up until the IG Live leak, which is where everything
I wonder what that end on his hat stands for.
Changed. That's also pretty much what Gabby said in the lawsuit. And that October 6, 2024 date where she says there was a violent assault is really where everything
niggas
changed. And again, the texts also kind of prove that. After all, just because a relationship was previously consensual doesn't mean it always is.
Shit.
Now, we don't know if Shannon cherry-picked text messages that make her look worse than him, or if they would actually go months without texting, because we went through almost all of the messages over the course of 2 years, which realistically were not that many texts, but we can only base our opinions on what was revealed. But knowing the dates of those text messages does kind of help, because if she claimed she feared for her life, then sent an erotic message after, that doesn't really make sense. For example, audio was released of her and Shannon's phone conversation, and without context or dates, it sounds horrible.
I don't know. Anything I say, you're just gonna like get mad at, and you're just gonna hang up on me.
I did hear this too. Freeze it, baby.
Here's what it is.
What does that even mean?
What's good?
You want to be a to me now, so.
I don't want to be. Don't manipulate me.
Oh, no, have mercy. If you say that one more time, I'm going to choke the shit out of you when I see you.
Well, I don't.
You know what?
Well, I don't want to be choked.
Yeah, you do.
You're coming to LA tomorrow?
Yes.
Well, I don't know why you want to go out.
Don't worry about it, Gabby.
Well, okay.
Okay, what?
Well, I'm not really interested in getting choked, so I guess we're going.
Yeah. I might choke you in public. Big black guy chokes small white woman.
It's not a good look.
Not a good...
Shannon.
Not a good look that you do what you did to me.
Dates are important here because if this was before summer of 2024, then some people believe this is just more dirty talk and role-playing now being taken out of context. Especially the way he says big black guy chokes small white woman. It just seems like an ironic or non-intimidating way to describe that situation. Then again, some look at this as her clearly expressing multiple times that she does not want this, which should have been a signal for him to stop. But where everything does get weird is her demanding money around New Year's of 2025. By this point, she claims to have been assaulted seemingly countless times and is demanding to be paid for intercourse. This is what makes people think that this is a shakedown, and of course has been a basis of Shannon's legal defense. Then again, Shannon's defense made a horrible decision in revealing that they...
Like, you selling coochie after he assaulted you, but you still like entertain this nigga and still like sell coochie and entertain this like race play thing, even though he assaulted you. I think people looking a bit too much into the choking part. I feel like this whole shit, honestly, I ain't gonna lie. It honestly just looks horrible for this nigga. It just really just looks bad for this nigga, bro. I ain't gonna lie. Like, even if she is just like kind of just trying to extort this nigga, bro, it don't, like, you don't look good, bro. You fucking with somebody that's I don't know how old his daughter is, but probably way younger than your daughter. And, you know, the freaky race play 2 thing. You know what I'm saying? That's not a good look, nigga. You know what I'm saying?
He almost settled out of court before anyone knew about this situation. Sharpe's lawyer revealed that he had offered Gabby at least $10 million to settle things privately before the case became public. According to his attorney,
Sheesh.
Gabriella...
10 mil just to keep it on the hush?
initially seemed open to the deal, but then, without warning, walked away from our offer. Davis said it was a big surprise to us when suddenly this case was filed without any advanced warning. Many people questioned why Shannon would even offer a settlement that large if he was innocent. Now, legal...
Right, if you didn't do nothing, if all of this was just, you know, a shakedown or somebody just trying to, you know, smear your name, you willing to pay 10 mil just to make it all go away and make them stop talking about you? Some hidden truths there, nigga.
Legally, settling a lawsuit does not mean a person is admitting guilt. In fact, most settlements include language that explicitly states the parties are not admitting to any wrongdoing. For many, settling is a way to avoid the stress, time, and massive costs of going to trial. In high-profile cases like this one, it can also be a strategy to avoid media attention and protect reputations.
True.
For celebrities, sometimes settling just feels like the faster, cleaner option if they believe they did nothing wrong. But in the court of public opinion, people strongly felt...
It was like literally on top of the world for a little bit, you know what I'm saying? Had the best podcast or whatever. I think he had a show that he was about to drop or already had one or some shit. Nigga had a lot of shit going for him. Crazy. So I get it. I could see why you would just like try to, all right, let's just make this go away. You know what I'm saying? I got a lot of shit. 10 mil ain't shit compared to what I am getting and what I could get if everything keeps falling through. He tried to stop her because of we can. Dead ass.
That Shannon essentially admitted guilt when he offered her $10 million. Then again, others questioned why Gabby did not take the $10 million. This is the girl that demanded $25K per cheek. Surely $10 million would have been plenty of money, right? And that's when conspiracies arose that potentially this is a much bigger attack on Shannon. Shannon was on the verge of signing a new podcast contract worth over $100 million.
That's what I was just about to say, yo. I knew this nigga was just like, he was in a hella like $1 million deal. So he was like, bro, I'm not trying to mess any of this up. If I can make it go away with a little measly 10, boom, I'm still banking off of like what 90 from this John, and then not including all his other little revenue and assets and shit.
That kind of money would have made him one of the highest paid personalities in sports media. It felt like the next big step in his career. Additionally, Gabby's legal representation is led by Tony Busby, who filed a lawsuit on behalf of a woman accusing Diddy of assault, trafficking, and abuse. Additionally, in late 2024, Tony Busby filed a civil lawsuit on behalf of a woman identified as Jane Doe, accusing Jay-Z and Diddy of R-wording her at a 2000 MTV Video Music Awards after party when she was 13 years old. Jay-Z vehemently denied the allegations, labeling them a blackmail attempt. In February of 2025, the lawsuit was dismissed with prejudice, meaning it cannot be refiled. Subsequently, Jay-Z filed a defamation lawsuit against Jane Doe and Busby, alleging that the accusations were knowingly false and malicious, aimed at extorting him and causing significant harm to his reputation and business interests.
To my family, friends, supporters, and colleagues, I want to speak to you directly and from the heart. This is a shakedown. I'm going to be open, transparent, and defend myself because this isn't right. This is all being orchestrated by Tony Busby, who has targeted Jay-Z. Tony Busby targets black men, and I believe he's going to release a 30-second clip of a sex tape that tries to make me look guilty and play into every stereotype you could possibly imagine.
Why does he have a 30-second sex tape? Why is it? You see how, like, I hear you, but like, it's just visual and audio evidence and released text messages. Even if there were no text messages, nigga, this audio and visual. It's not helping you, bro.
That video should actually be 10 minutes or so. Hey, Tony, instead of releasing your edit, put the whole video out. I don't have it, or I would myself. You know what happened, and you're trying to manipulate the media. The encounter in question took place during the day at her invitation, and now that appears to be a
real talk.
coordinated by Gabby, bro. Also known as Carly on OnlyFans. Gabby and Tony Busby want $50 million. What they're getting is sued for defamation and trying to take me down. My career is all about real talk and honesty. I know my family and fans know exactly what this is about. And I'm going to be out there telling you whatever I need to say, just like I always do. I love all you guys.
Many fans believe that a man who was not guilty would demand for an entire tape of his to be released, especially if it made him look bad. Busby told TMZ Sports that he and his client have zero plans right now to put the footage out to the media. The only reason you know about the existence of a video recording is that Mr. Sharpe specifically referenced it in his bullshit statement. Shannon has remained adamant that his relationship with Gabriella was purely a BDSM one, where the two would meet.
Bro. My nigga Codes, what's good, bro? During this,
up for rough about once a week and nothing
What's the
more.
word, bro?
Shortly after the
That's
case
crazy.
went public, Sharpe announced his decision to temporarily leave ESPN. However, he still remains active working on his personal
doing, man?
podcast that he owns. Now people are going back and analyzing Shannon's behavior on his shows, claiming that him being so open about his sexual proclivities, fetishes, and love for younger women on talk shows is an indication of guilt behind the scenes.
Big indication.
I broke up with my girlfriend. This was years ago. This was probably about 20, 25 years ago.
Every time you tell a story, it's years ago. I'm thinking this might be recent. This
No,
recent.
that ain't recent. This ain't recent. No, that's 25 years
okay.
ago. And my sister told my grandma, say, Granny, you know Shannon and such and such not going together.
Everything
They're not
Gucci,
together
brother.
no more. But
We just, chilling, vibing, doing a reaction to the Shannon Sharpe situation and stuff, just chilling, cooling the vibing, getting lit. Regular Monday-ish. Hope all is well with you too, my guy.
You know what my grandma said?
What'd she say?
She wasn't doing her nightly duties.
Ooh. Wait a minute.
That was my granny say. That what my granny say.
Wait, let me sit up because I want. Wait, let me get my note. Let me get my notepad out. What are nightly duties so I can make sure
you know what nightly duties are. Everybody that watching this know what nightly duties are.
This one particular clip of Shannon losing control.
What is nightly duties? What kind of, how old is this guy? He old as hell. He about like 57, 56. He about old as hell. Damn sure too old to be fucking with somebody that's 19. Nigga, I'm too old to be fucking with somebody that's 19. Like, nigga, you're like 50. You're like almost 60. Damn near. At this point, you can say he's closer to 60. And I'm like, I ain't gonna lie, bro. You think the bitch...
If you want to watch without any ads or interruptions, then make sure you sub up.
W whiffed it.
Gifted Yo Bitch Asphalt 1 subscriptions.
I would just...
Shout out Tory Baby. Appreciate it, my nigga.
Appreciate you, Tory Baby, with the motherfucking whiff this to Phantom. Let's go. Phantom Mass. W with the sub. Preach. And I was about to say, Shannon, you about 60 years old. Do you think the women you fucking with right now, 19 to 20, you think they even know what nightly duties are? Bro, they haven't even, their parents probably don't know what nightly duties are, cuz. You know what I'm saying? They're young as shit. All they do is fucking, they know Instagram and Twitter and fucking post on OF. They don't know shit about shit.
Control while discussing an OF model, seemingly out of nowhere, has been resurfaced.
You know who Sky Bree is, Ocho?
Sky Bree? Who that is, coach?
Yeah. How I do it. How I do
Hey,
it.
Sky, I mean, who is that? Help me out.
You know what I'm saying? She little something. She might be famous for vertical activity that she good at.
Shannon also...
Bro, you too damn old to be like gassing up OF models, bro. You too damn old to be doing that, bro. I can't even understand the new 18-year. Yeah, you're way older than the internet. You feel me? He dead ass is older than the internet. I'm gonna have to look it up, bruh. This nigga way too damn old to be still be moving like this, bruh. He been rich too. I don't know how we acting so brand new. Like he been, that's what I'm saying. He's been rich. He's been rich. So like, why? Why as you get older you start just acting like you don't know how to move, my nigga? What happened?
So once shut down his co-host's recommendation for a woman that's religious, has strong
Famous,
values,
rich,
and could bring
and
balance
let's not
to his
forget old, Coase. This nigga is old. It ain't like he new to this. He damn near true to this.
life, but instead he said, I'm looking for a sinner.
I'm looking for a sinner. I'm looking for a sinner.
The movie just came out, bro. You should have just stuck to the movie. Sentence was coming out. You could have watched the movie like the rest of us, and you would have been in a good position right now. But now, you wanted something else. Midlife crisis. You think that's what happened? You think that nigga just like was like, damn, bro, I do this sportscast shit. I do this other shit. I don't know what else to do with my time. He played NFL with Prime. Yeah. I mean, possibly, bro.
I'm looking for a sinner. Send me Miss Nasty B. What her name was? The one that you
Miss
said
Nasty
with the
B?
umbrella.
Miss Nasty.
Yeah. I'm looking for. I don't want nobody walking straight and narrow.
Oh, come on.
Nah.
So,
I want a sinner.
listen.
No matter whose side you are on, I think we can all agree that at the end of the day, Shannon had no business as a 57-year-old messing around with a 19 or 20-year-old. It is his actions that got him in this situation. Now,
Yeah, they talking about shout out Miss B Nasty. Yeah, that's who they was talking about.
is he actually guilty of a crime? Well, now that you have the full context, you can make an informed decision on what you think happened. Otherwise, we'll just have to wait for the jury's verdict.